Hi girls, today I want to share with you my thoughts about Paintbox yarn. Finally I got my package from lovecrafts.com. I became a happy owner of 8 skeins of yarn for my V-neck sweater. I chose red wine color. It's 100% decay cotton, natural, soft and well-twisted yarn. You can crochet any project in a short time with this type of yarn. But most of all, I like the color of the yarn. I would call it royal red. By the way, the color of the yarn on the side matches the real color. So I got exactly what I wanted. You will definitely not be mistaken when choosing a color for your future project. You can see the thread creates a clear texture and looks perfect with different patterns. I'm sure I will order from them again. Everything was good, including the packing of the yarn, the shipping less than a week, customer service and the design of the label. Minimalistic design looks good in my video. And I have a good news. We are hosting a giveaway with lovecrafts.com on Instagram. Please click the link below the video for more info. Now came back to the pattern. How to adjust the pattern to your size and the written instruction. Please read at beautifulcrochetstuff.com. The link in the description. Start crocheting the sweater from the bottom up. The length of the bottom rib is my shoulder's width. The first row, crochet 16 chains, yarn over slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Yarn over slip stitch in each stitch to the end of the row. The second row, chain 1, turn, yarn over slip stitch in the back loop only, and yarn over slip stitch in each back loop only to the end of the row. third row, chain 1, turn, yarn over, slip stitch in each back loop only to the end of the row. I don't know the name of the place you should work next. I will call it the post front loop only. If you know the name of it, please let me know in comments. Row 4, chain 1, turn, yarn over, slip stitch in each post front loop only to the end of the row. Row 5, chain 1, turn, yarn over, slip stitch in each post front loop only to the end of the row. Repeat row 2, 3, 4 and 5 until you reach the desired length. I crocheted 54 rows. Please note, every time when you start a new rib, you must crochet 3 rows of the stitch in the back loop only at the beginning, then alternate 2 rows of stitches in the post front loop only and 2 rows of stitches in the back loop only. Main pattern. The first row. Crochet a row of single crochet across the rib. The number of stitches must be a multiply of 5 plus 1. I crocheted 81 stitches. The second row. Chain 3, turn, DC in next single crochet, chain 2, skip next 2 single crochet, DC in next 3 single crochet, chain 2. I repeat the steps to the end of the row. DC in the last 2 single crochet. Row 3, chain 1, turn, single crochet in the same space, 5 DC in next chain 2 space. Single crochet in the second DC. Repeat it to the end of the row. I got 18 shells. Row 4, chain 4, turn, skip next DC, DC in next 3 DC, chain 2, skip next DC, single crochet and DC, DC in next 3 DC. Repeat it to the end of the row. In the end of the row, chain 1, TC in the last single crochet. Row 5, chain 3, turn, 2 DC in the same space, single crochet in the second DC. Five DC in next chain 2 space. Single crochet in the second DC. Repeat the steps to the end of the row. In the end of the row, make 3 DC in the top of chain 4. row 6, chain 3, turn, DC in next DC, chain 2, skip next DC single crochet and DC, DC in next 3 DC. Repeat this step to the end of the row. Chain 2, DC in the last 2 stitches. Repeat row 3, 4, 5 and 6 and as many times as you need. I crocheted 19 rows of the pattern, include a single crochet row. You can crochet more rows to make the sweater longer. Then start decreasing from the 4th row. Decrease from the inside. 20th row it's row 4 of the main pattern. It's left side. Chain 4, turn, skip next DC, DC in next 3 DC. Chain 2, skip next DC, single crochet, DC, DC in next 3 DC. Repeat it to the end of the row. You should get 7 chain 2 spaces. Row 21, chain 1, turn, single crochet in the 2nd DC, five DC in next chain 2 space. Single crochet in the 2nd DC. Repeat the steps to the end of the row. In the end of the row, 3 DC in the top of chain 4. Row 22, chain 3, turn, DC in next DC, chain 2, skip next DC, single crochet in DC, DC in next 3 DC, and repeat it to the end of the row. Row 23, chain 1, turn, single crochet next DC, 5 DC in next chain 2 space, single crochet in the second DC, and repeat it to the end of the row. Repeat the rows at 20, 23 until you reach 3 chain 2 spaces. Came back to the 20th row and start decreasing from the inside. It's right side. Row 20th is row 4 of the main pattern. Join the thread to the second DC, chain 3, DC in next to DC, chain 2, skip next DC, single crochet and DC, DC in next 3 DC. Repeat it to the end of the row. In the end of the row, chain 1, DC in the last single crochet. Row 21, chain 3, turn, 2 DC in the same space, single crochet in the second DC, 5 DC in next chain 2 space. Single crochet in the second DC, and repeat it to the end of the row. You should get 7 shells. Row 22, chain 1, turn, slip stitch in next to DC, chain 3, DC in next to DC, chain 2, skip next DC, single crochet in DC, DC in next 3 DC. Repeat the steps to the end of the row. In the end of the row, chain 2, DC in the last 2 stitches. Row 23, chain 1, turn, single crochet in same DC, 5 DC in next chain 2 space, single crochet in the second DC. Repeat it to the end of the row. Repeat rows 22 and 23 until you reach 3 chain 2 spaces. Make 2 details. Put these details of the sweater right side together and join them by slip stitch, shoulders part and the sides. Leave holes for the sleeves. Sleeves. Note, we will crochet the sleeves in the rows and decrease them from the two sides. The first row. Make a single crochet row. The number of stitches must be multiply of 5 plus 1. I crocheted 66 stitches. The second row. Chain 3, turn, DC in next single crochet, chain 2, skip next 2 single crochet, DC in next 3 single crochet, chain 2. Repeat it to the last 2 stitches, DC in the last 2 single crochet. Row 3, chain 1, turn, single crochet in the same space, 5 DC in next chain 2 space, single crochet in the second DC. Repeat the steps to the end of the row. I got 13 shells. Row 4, chain 1, turn, slip stitch in next to DC, chain 3, DC in next to DC, chain 2, skip next DC single crochet and DC, DC in next 3 DC. Repeat it to the end of the row. Row 5, chain 1, turn, single crochet in the second DC, 5 DC in next chain 2 space. Single crochet in the second DC. Repeat these steps to the end of the row. Repeat rows 4 and 5 until you reach 9 shells. Then repeat the main pattern from the 4th row of main pattern as many times as you need. I crocheted 28 rows, include a single crochet row. Join 2 sides of the sleeve with slip stitch from the wrong side of the sweater. Cuffs and neck. Chain 9, and for the neck and cuffs make the same rib. Chain 9, then repeat the rib pattern. For the cuffs I crocheted 53 rows of the pattern. For the neck I made two details. First details is 115 rows, the second detail 99 rows. Join the details to the sweater with slip stitch. crochet a row of single crochet stitches around the cuffs, the neck and the bottom. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel.